So the first story is called The Juniper Tree, and these are the characters. Number one is the protagonist of the story, which was a young boy. Next is a rich man and his beautiful wife. Yun yung parents ng protagonist. Next is the antagonist of the story, which is the evil stepmother. And lastly, Marlene, which is the daughter of the evil stepmom. So the story began 2,000 years ago, where the rich man and his beautiful wife was having troubles conceiving. And they were hopeless, and no matter how much they prayed and hoped for a child, hindi pa rin mabuntis etong si beautiful wife. Then one day, in front of their house, grew a juniper tree. And one time, this beautiful wife was peeling an apple under the juniper tree. There happened when she cut her finger, and a drop of her blood that was cut na tumulo dun sa snow. And then it came to her that this was a sign given by the tree that she was going to have a baby. And then nag-promise siya, she wished that if ever na mabuntis siya or mag-conceive siya, gusto niya the baby's skin was white as snow and it was red as blood, kagaya ng blood niya. And then months passed, it was confirmed na the beautiful wife was pregnant. And then she was filled with joy and she was grateful dun sa juniper tree. But unfortunately, after giving birth, the beautiful wife became ill, and he left some words dun sa husband niya na if she died, she wanted to be buried under the juniper tree, which was tinupad naman nung husband niya. So after many years of mourning, the husband decided to remarry again. Pero he still has his son with him, yung anak niya sa first wife niya. So, nagkatotoo naman yung wish ng beautiful wife, the deceased wife, na that her son became as white as snow and cheeks and lips was red as blood. And then there came the antagonist of the story, which was the evil stepmom. Nagkaanak yung father and then yung stepmom. Meron silang daughter named Marlene, and Marlene was a sweet, loving child na mahal niya din yung brother niya, yung kapatid niya sa tatay niya. But unfortunately, the stepmom, she was the opposite of her sweet daughter. She was cruel and unkind, and she is filled of jealousy dun sa first son nung husband niya. Because she was full of greed that she wanted all the fortune and inheritance for herself and for her daughter. So one day, Marlene came running in the kitchen and she was asking for an apple dun sa stepmom niya. And then Marlene asked that, "Mother, can I have an apple? And I would like to share one with my brother." So the mother quickly refused when she heard na mag-share daw ng apple etong si Marlene dun sa brother niya. So, sabi ng mom, before you get to eat an apple, you need to let your brother eat first pag galing daw sa school. Since dumating na yung brother, pumunta siya dun sa stepmom niya, which is nakita niya na parang ansama ng tingin sa kanya. Tinanong niya yung stepmom niya bakit ganun daw yung tingin sa kanya ng stepmom niya. The stepmom ignored her and said na, "Just shut up and pick an apple." So this bunch of apples, hindi siya yung apples na naka-display sa center table or nakalagay sa bowl kasama ng mga ibang fruits. The apples was placed inside a huge chest or a taul na mabigat, and andun lahat ng apple. So the mother said that she didn't know what came into her mind, but she had the urge to murder the first son because she was envious. So, she said dun sa first son na, kumuha ka na ng apple. So, the son stick his head and shoulders inside sa inside ng ataul, and then while his head was stuck inside, the mother saw the opportunity and she took the chance para smash yung chest. And then after nun, she was shocked to see that the son's head was severed. It was na, in short, pinugutan niya ng ulo yung stepson niya. So she was shocked and she didn't able to think it through. Hindi pa nagsisink in sa mind niya na nagawa niya yun. And then she began to panic, and then she heard her daughter's voice. So before pa makapasok yung daughter sa room, she said na, go look for your brother. Instead, what she did was, kinuha niya yung severed head ng first son, and then the rest of the body, pinaupo niya sa chair. After niyang paupuin sa chair, tinakpan niya ng handkerchief yung ulo together with a single apple na nasa kamay pa rin ng boy. And then the daughter, tinawag siya ng mother niya. Sinabi ng mother niya na, andun yung kuya mo sa kwarto, gisingin mo na. Kapag hindi siya nagising, bulungan mo siya sa tenga. So the daughter did what her mom told her. And by the time that she whispered on her brother's ears, Marlene was shocked na biglang gumulong yung ulo ng kuya niya. So she was in panic and she was weeping and crying. She was traumatized of what she saw. And then the mother came in rushing na, what did you do to your brother? Kumbaga parang she put the blame on her daughter instead of herself. Na parang sinabi niya na pinalabas niya na yung daughter niya na accidentally pinatay yung kuya niya, which is the daughter is very innocent, and yun yung sinaksak niya sa utak sa pag-iisip ng anak niya. After that, they decided to talk it out, and she said na to keep it a secret between the two of her. And what they did was, she butchered the boy's body and turned him into a pudding, which is very disgusting. And then after nun, nag-family dinner sila. The boy was turned into a pudding, which was placed on the table na ipapakain nila dun sa biological father ng bata. So the father was furious because hinahanap niya yung only son niya. So where is my son? The stepmom told him that, don't worry because yung anak mo andun siya sa kapatid ng ex-wife mo. So the father said na, wala namang problema, pero bakit hindi siya nagpaalam sa akin? And then they continued to have dinner. They continued to eat. But dun sa habang nagdi-dinner sila, Marlene was still crying. She was still weeping, and the father asked what bothers her. She stayed silent, and then lumabas siya sa juniper tree. Hawak-hawak niya yung bones ng kuya niya, and she put his brother's remaining bones under dun sa juniper tree. Nung papasok na siya ng bahay, she was shocked to see some mist na galing dun sa bones under the juniper tree, and biglang may lumiyab na flames galing sa bones na yon. And then out of nowhere, biglang may bird na lumabas dun sa mist and flames na nakikita ni Marlene. And then she felt an unfamiliar happiness or relief na parang nakita niya in some way through the bird. It represents na parang it feels like to her na parang buhay pa rin yung kuya niya in some way. So the bird flew away and alighted on the house of a goldsmith and began to sing. So yung bird na yon, parang yun na yung son. So after being murdered by his stepmom, he reincarnated into a singing bird. And yung bird na yon, sobrang ganda ng boses niya that everyone was alert and delighted kapag narinig nila kumanta yung bird na yon. Pero the song that he was singing was about the way he was murdered by his stepmom. Pero all throughout, hindi naman naririnig ng mga nakikinig sa kanya yung lyrics. Kumbaga parang namamanghalang sa boses niya. So first one was a goldsmith. So after hearing the song, the goldsmith asked the bird na kung pwede daw ba siyang kumanta ulit. So the bird said that I do not sing for nothing. So he wanted to ask something in return bago siya kumanta. So the goldsmith offered him a gold chain. So pumayag naman yung bird. After that, he flew away again and headed to a shoemaker's house. He landed on the roof and began singing the song again. When the shoemaker heard him sing, the shoemaker asked him like the goldsmith asked, that he wanted to hear the bird sing once more. Like the bird said nung una that he wasn't going to sing for nothing and he wanted something in return para kumanta. So the shoemaker called out his wife na sinabi na go get a pair of red shoes upstairs and give it to the bird. And then nung binigay ng wife yung pair ng red shoes sa bird, the bird began singing again. After singing, the bird settled on a lime tree in front of the mill and sang. Doon na naman siya kumanta. So, dun sa tree na yon ng lime and then in front of the mill, there were workers underneath na nagtatrabaho. They were milling. And then, yung mga workers, namanghal sila dun sa boses ng bird. And then, one worker asked that if the bird could sing again. So, likewise, the same answer, the bird said that he wasn't going to sing without anything in return. So, they offered him millstone, yung malaking rock na parang may butas sa gitna. And then, nung pinunta niya yon, after singing, he finally decided to go back sa bahay nila. And sa bahay nila, the family was having dinner. He sat on the roof and parang nung pag-apak niya sa roof, biglang they felt a different atmosphere, like an enlightening atmosphere. The father was parang filled with delight, biglang nagbago yung mood niya and everyone else in the house. While on the other hand, the mother, she feels very, very stiff and nervous and parang aligaga siya, somewhat. And then the bird began singing again. He began singing the song about how he was murdered. And then, Marlin saw that yung bird na nakita niya when the day his brother died appeared in front of them on the juniper tree. She began crying out loud. So gusto niya lumabas. But the mother forbid because nung narinig niyang kumanta yung bird, she felt fear and she was terrified when the bird sing. So may isang man na lumabas. He wanted to see outside what was happening and who was the bird that was singing. Lumabas siya and then in shock, nagulat siya nung pagkanta ng bird, yung chain na galing sa goldsmith, hinulog ng bird sa kanya. Saktong nahulog on his neck that it fitted perfectly. So, the man began crying out loud in joy. Pagbalik niya sa bahay, sinabi niya dun sa loob na the bird that was singing outside was bringing gifts for free. So, Marlin here, the stepsister, nainganyo siya and she wanted to go outside as well to see if may ibibigay sa kanya yung bird. But the mother still forbids and she didn't wanted to let her daughter outside. Nung lumabas na si Marlin, her stepsister, paglabas ni Marlin, the bird was still singing and then the bird dropped a pair of red shoes dun kay Marlin. So Marlin was happy and then she came running back in the house, talked about it to her mom, saying that the bird that was singing outside gave her a pair of red beautiful shoes na galing dun nga sa shoemaker. And next was the mother, out of curiosity, she wanted to find out if these gifts were really bought by the singing bird. So paglabas niya, she was expecting something in return. She was expecting a gift from a bird. But unfortunately, hindi gift ang bumagsak sa kanya, kundi the huge millstone na galing dun sa mga workers na last na kinantahan ng bird. And then this giant stone na bumagsak sa kanya was the cause of her death. Na pagbagsak sa kanya, her body was crushed into pieces, her blood scattering everywhere. But hindi na nakita yun ng mga tao sa bahay outside. And then, at the same very spot where she died, where she was crushed by the millstone, may mist na lumabas, like the one from earlier, a mist and flames. And then, out of nowhere, nag-appear in whole flesh, in human flesh, physical body and everything, nabuhay ulit yung boy. And the father and Marlene was shocked to see the sight of his missing son for the father and her dead brother for Marlene, na andun sa labas, standing outside, nabuhay. And the boy reached out his hand, and after that, he was reunited with his brother and sister again. So they entered the house, continued having dinner, and shocked to say that they didn't look out for their mom. Kumbaga, hindi na lang nila napansin. Basta dumating yung bata. Yeah, they live happily ever after.